My name is Chihong Park and this is my intrinsic motivation project. What passion do I have? I had really hard time on this step because I did not want to do something very boring that I do every day, such as soccer. So I decided to go with paragliding. I first tried paragliding so recently and it was something very new to me. After that day I decided to do it again because I was so passionate about it. However, since paragliding is something that I cannot do so often, I want to plan that day so perfectly. Quadratic equation and quadratic formula for parabola will help me to plan it. Okay, since the paragliding usually starts from the mountain and goes down to the ground in parabola form, I will connect paragliding to parabola and use quadratic equation and quadratic formula to find the better way that I will take while paragliding. Here, better way means the way that makes me stay longer in the air. Let's start it. First, I have to decide two ways of starting the paragliding in order to compare which one would make me stay longer in the sky. One way is to start the paragliding by rising up to the sky right after I jump from the mountain and then gradually go down to the ground. And the other way is to start paragliding by rising up even higher than the first one. So the first one is way A and second one is way B. At this moment, you guys might be confused. How can a paragliding rise up to the sky without a motor? The answer is that they can rise up because of the wind that has uplift motion. So after this decision, I have to choose three initial points that I will reach in the air at the beginning of each planned race, imagining that I am paragliding on the graph paper. So I chose these 3 points for way A and these 3 points for way B. Here, the y-axis is the height in meters and x-axis is the time in seconds. And as you see, the y value of way B is greater than those of way A, while the x value is constant. So these points signify that way B will rise up in the sky higher than way A within the same amount of time. Also, 0,400 remains constant because it is the point where I jump from, and the height of the mountain, which is 400 meters, about 400 meters. So with these 3 points for each, now I'm going to use TI-84 to find quadratic equation. I will show this process using way A. First, I clicked Stat and entered Edit. For the first column, I put all 3 x coordinates of the points from way A. And for the second column, I put all 3 y coordinates. Then I clicked the Stat button again and entered Calculate and Quadratic, which because it is quadratic equation. And finally, I calculated the equation. As you see, the equation that I got for way A was y equals negative 0.005x squared plus 1.2x plus 400. With the same procedure, I got the quadratic equation for way B as well. So since I got the quadratic equations for way A and way B, let's start to find which way will make me stay longer in the air. For that step, I will use quadratic formula because it helps me to find one of the x-intercepts of the quadratic equation, which represents the time it takes for me to land. This is because x-intercepts is when y value is 0, which means that I'm not flying anymore. Okay, so this is quadratic formula, and I put quadratic equation of way A into that formula, and I found 2 x-intercepts. And since the time cannot be negative number and I started paragliding from 0 seconds, the only x-intercept that I want to find is x equals 427 point something something something. So this means that it will take about 427 seconds for me to land if I take way A. With the same procedure, I got about 356 seconds for way B. Okay, so in conclusion, since way A takes more time for me to land, it is a better way. Therefore, I will take way A for paragliding in the future. Lastly, I will finish this presentation by showing the ways A and B on the graph paper so you guys can understand the presentation more mathematically. As you see, I imagined the paragliding to be a parabola on the graph paper, just like these two, in order to find the time taken for paragliding, just like these 2 x-intercepts. I really appreciate this project because it gave me a chance to learn how to connect what I learned into the real-life objects in order to solve the problems. So thank you for watching my presentation, and please subscribe to our channel.